Hey guys, what's up? It's Carl here, back with another episode, and today we're talking a bit on the budget side. I know that's really important right now in 2020, everything going on in the world right now. We have the brand new Pixel 4a, retails for $350, making it one of the best budget smartphones that you can currently get. We're gonna pair that off against the iPhone SE version 2. This is the cheapest iPhone that you can currently get, and this is the battle of the best budget smartphone right now in 2020. The only reason why I didn't include the OnePlus Nord, which should technically be part of this conversation. It really depends what region you're from. If you're from North America, like most of you are, this sadly is not available yet. If you can somehow get your hands on it, or you're in one of those regions, I'd probably lean on over to this. It's got a lot more features. Of course, it's a bit pricier, around $500 compared to the $350. If you want a separate video, just let me know, or I can just chime in the comments why the Nord isn't included. I know most of the viewers here from North America, these two are the only devices that you should be looking at in terms of budget. So let's first talk about the newcomer, the 4a. And I think Google has really found the sweet spot where their smartphone segment should be focused on. And if you look back at their flagship line, say the 4, the 4XL, one of my favorite phones solely because of the color, those haven't sold too well. And at launch, they're around that $1,000 price point. They're currently discontinued, low in stock, so you can't even grab one. But when you compare these two, there's a huge price difference, and what you get isn't really too far off. And when they came out with the 3a last year, that's actually the device that they sold the most. And I think Google is gonna start pivoting towards mid or budget friendly smartphones, focus on what they do best. That's of course stock Android, so great software, and a great camera experience. And I personally think Pixel smartphones take the best photos across any smartphone. We're just talking about one lens, so you lack the versatility, you don't have an ultra wide, you don't have a 100x ultra zoom. And to be honest, how many times do you use those on a day-to-day basis? I guarantee if you scroll through your camera feed, all of your photos, most of them are a simple point and shoot. And that's the big props coming to Google software. They do that very well. Obviously, in very well lit situations, both take great photos. It's those low light situations, it's night shots, it's HDR content where the Pixel really shines. Next, we'll talk about the thing that you interact with most, and that's the display. Over on the Pixel 4a, you've got a 5.8-inch display. It's OLED, 2340 by 1080. It's a full HD panel. It doesn't have the frills of a 90 Hz or 120 Hz refresh rate. Remember the price we're talking about, but it is leaps and bounds better than the tiny screen, 4.7-inch screen found on the iPhone SE2. It almost feels dwarfed now. It doesn't really feel like I'm using a phone from 2020. I can't get over how large the bezels are, especially on the forehead. I get that you might want to keep Touch ID, but just remove the top. You can easily shave an inch off that, in my opinion. The 4a screen is perfect for one-handed use. It feels great, it goes edge to edge and just fits perfectly into the hand. Not saying the iPhone SE doesn't. The display is sadly just too small, and they have very similar footprints. The build on the SE though is definitely way better. Maybe that's where that extra $150 is coming from. You've got the aluminum around the outsides, of course the glass back. It feels more premium in the hand, whereas the Pixel 4a, completely carbonate, feels a bit cheap to hold in the hand, but it thankfully at least has a headphone jack, but sadly no IP rating. So don't get this guy wet, whereas the iPhone SE should handle some wetness here and there. Performance-wise is where the Pixel kind of bogs down a bit, and don't get me wrong, during your day-to-day stuff, sending out your emails, multitasking between apps, it's totally fine. It's when you start playing more graphic-intensive games, and I'm gonna bring my OnePlus Nord here again for an example. This device definitely handles that better. It's got the Snapdragon 730, so it's a mid-tier chipset, but that's really where the iPhone SE shines. It has a premium chip inside. It's the same one found in the iPhone 11, 11 Pro, even my daily driver, the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and that's probably where that $150 is going, right into the chipset, and I think that's why the iPhone SE will age a bit better than the Pixel. Apple is great in offering continuous software updates, and I think in 4 to 5 years, a lot of people that bought the SE2, this phone will still work perfectly fine, and I don't think I could say the same for the Pixel 4a. Around that 2 to 3 year mark, you really start to notice Android devices bog down. It'll still take great photos, it's got that great camera, but longevity-wise, I'd lean more towards the iPhone. If you want to talk about ecosystems, you've got a lot more flexibility in the budget tier for the Android side. Yes, the Apple ecosystem is great. You can get into it at a lower cost, but still it's pricier compared to what you have to offer on the Pixel side. Battery life across devices are pretty similar. You've got the 1-day usage on the iPhone. The Pixel doesn't have too big of a display, and of course the chipset is mid-tier, so it doesn't suck up too much power, so it's great. And to sum up this comparison, I think Google has really found a sweet spot in the smartphone game. When you even look at the rumors or the specs at the Pixel 5, they aren't really top spec either. I think they'll continue to provide a very clean and stock Android experience and have a very good camera with very good software and algorithms. $350, you honestly cannot go wrong. I'm sure just like the 3A, the 4A will sell like hotcakes. I do feel sorry if you are a Pixel 4 owner. That still makes it $150 cheaper than the iPhone SE, and in the budget game, that is a lot of money. You could buy all your accessories, a pair of headphones, a case. I'd recommend one of Google's. I really like their fiber cases for that $500 mark. So I'm curious, if you had the choice, which device would you pick? And remember, the Nord kind of threw that in there if it's available to you. Hope you guys enjoyed this budget video. I know a lot of you have been asking for this one, and I will catch the rest of you in one of my next ones or one of my vlogs. Peace.